Hello, welcome to Health Bites. Today we will be talking about the #1 killer in the US, heart disease. And it is no longer a disease of older people. Even people under 40 are having heart attacks. Statistics from the CDC estimate that about every 25 seconds, an American will have a coronary event, and about 1 every minute will die from one of these events. In the US alone, an equivalent of more than 10 jumbo jets of people die each day from heart disease. That's an astounding 2,400 deaths a day, 2,400 people. While there are some uncontrollable risk factors for heart disease, such as heredity, age, gender, but these are usually the least important risk factors. The controllable risk factors, those that you can do something about, are elevated blood cholesterol and smoking and alcohol use. Even brief exposure to secondhand smoke can trigger a heart attack. So smoking is not only a problem for smokers, but for the people around them. Another risk factor is high blood pressure and obesity. In fact, obese men are 5 times more likely to die of a heart attack by the age of 60 than men of normal weight. Another risk factor is a waist size of over 40 inches for men and over 35 inches for women. Diabetes is another risk factor, and elevated triglycerides or fat in your blood, physical inactivity, stress, and possibly an elevated homocysteine blood level. Homocysteine is a natural product of the breakdown of protein in the body, and a high level of homocysteine in the blood has been associated with increased risk of a number of diseases related to the heart and blood vessels. Well, the good news is that you can eat your way out of heart disease. All of these risk factors can be controlled by changes in diet and lifestyle. The fact is that 9 out of 10 heart attacks may be preventable. Well, how do we do this? There are 5 keys to reversing heart disease. #1, you want to reduce your blood cholesterol, mainly with a low-fat, high-fiber, plant-based diet. Then you want to lose weight by eating more foods as grown, less refined foods, and less animal products. Keep watching our Health Bites because we're going to talk about weight control in more detail. Another thing you can do is to lower your blood pressure if it is high. And you can do this by cutting down on your salt intake, getting into a daily exercise program, and eating more fruits and vegetables. We are also going to talk about how to lower your blood pressure in an upcoming segment. Another thing that you can do is to stop smoking and to eliminate alcohol and caffeine intake. Well, more specifically, how do we apply these 5 keys to our lifestyle? Well, when we talk about cholesterol, we need to know that cholesterol is only found in animal products. So all plant foods are going to be 100% cholesterol-free. The body has its own cholesterol, so we don't need to eat any cholesterol to keep it up. And there are 2 main types of cholesterol. You have the good and the bad. The good cholesterol, that's the HDL, it helps to clean out your arteries, and for that reason you want that good cholesterol to be high. And the most effective ways to increase your good cholesterol are to exercise, to lose weight or maintain a healthy weight, and to stop smoking. On the other hand, you can decrease your bad cholesterol and decrease your risk for heart disease by eating more fiber. Fiber recommendations are around 25 to 30 grams a day, and at least 10 of these grams should be 10 grams of soluble fiber a day. And that is to decrease your cholesterol because soluble fiber reduces the absorption of cholesterol in your intestines. Translated into practical terms, 1.5 cups of cooked oats has around 6 grams of soluble fiber. And then if you add some fruit, you're going to be adding around 4 more grams, and that will be a total of 10 grams of soluble fiber. So the less fiber you eat, the higher your risk for cardiovascular disease or coronary heart disease. Well, some common sources of fiber are fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole grains. Whole grain foods give nutritional benefits of the entire grain: vitamins, minerals, dietary fiber, and phytochemicals, which are compounds that protect us from disease. Whole grains are made up of all the parts of the grain: the bran, which is the fiber-rich outer layer; the endosperm, it's the middle part, it's the starchy part, it has small amounts of protein; and then you have the germ also, which is a nutrient-rich part of the grain. Well, when grains are milled or refined, the bran and the germ portions are removed, and that leaves only the endosperm. So at least 24 known vitamins and minerals are removed during the milling process. When nutritional deficiency diseases began to appear around the turn of last century, the 20th century, the industry, that's the food industry, started an enrichment program. So 4 of the nutrients were added back. That was thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and iron. And bread was renamed enriched. But in most cases, not much has been done about the other nutrients that were lost during the milling process. So enriched flour is when they take away the bran and the germ. They artificially add some vitamins and minerals, but it does not make up for everything they've taken out. And they call that enriched flours. But let me ask you this. If I took $24 from you and I gave you back 4, would you feel enriched? I know you wouldn't. Well, did you know that not all brown bread is whole wheat? By law, bread that is labeled whole wheat must be made from 100% whole wheat flour. Bread that is labeled wheat flour or wheat bread need not be made from whole wheat flour and is likely made from mostly white flour. So when you buy bread, just make sure to read the ingredients and make sure that the first ingredients read whole wheat or whole grain, not enriched wheat flour. Isaiah 55:2 tells us, "Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good." Well, earlier today, I mentioned that high blood homocysteine levels increase heart attack risk. Homocysteine in the blood is raised by drinking more than 9 cups of coffee a day, heavy smoking combined with high coffee consumption, and also eating meat and eggs. But the good news is that there are foods we can eat that will lower our homocysteine level. Folate, one of the B vitamins, is very beneficial in this regard. So notice in this graphic on your screen that the foods towards the end of the list, or the plant-based foods, are highest in folate. So those are things like black-eyed peas, lentils, okra, navy beans, spinach. Now you also should be aware of the trans fats. They are very damaging to your heart because they raise your bad cholesterol and your triglycerides, and worst of all, they lower your good cholesterol. Trans fats are found in foods made with partially hydrogenated vegetable oils and are used in commercial baked foods, goods such as cookies, donuts, and snack foods. It is important that you read the food label very carefully and that you look for 0 grams of trans fat. However, when a label shows 0 gram of trans fats per serving, it may contain up to 0.49 grams of trans fat per serving. So for example, if the serving is 1 cookie, it may have such a small amount of trans fat that the label could say 0 grams of trans fat per serving. But if you eat 4 cookies, you may be getting close to 2 grams of trans fat. So how can you be sure? You need to read the ingredients and make sure you avoid partially hydrogenated oils. Well, what are the best fats for heart disease? A study by Harvard University found that consuming polyunsaturated fats in place of saturated fats reduces coronary heart disease. So polyunsaturated fats and also the monounsaturated fats are better than saturated and trans fats. And you can see a list of these on your screen. But I want to emphasize that the best option is to get your healthy fats from the whole foods in its original package, rather than from refined oils. Excellent options include olives, avocados, soy foods, seeds, and nuts. Also, the kinds of carbohydrates you eat affect your heart risk. The best carbohydrates for heart disease are the unrefined whole grains, whole carbohydrates, unrefined carbohydrates. People who eat the most highly refined carbohydrates have twice the risk of heart attack. And this is because of the changes that occur in the body when those refined carbohydrates are absorbed too quickly. And this increase in risk seems to affect women more than men. Well, in summary, some practical tips to apply these guidelines are to first substitute. So drink skim milk or non-fat substitutes such as soy milk or almond milk instead of whole milk. Have a bowl of chilled fruit for dessert instead of ice cream. Also, you want to reduce your portion sizes and eliminate high-fat items in your diet such as cheese, dressings, meats, and oils, and avoid saturated fats which are solid at room temperature. And you want to also eliminate temptation. If you don't bring it into your house, you won't eat them. You want to cook for yourself as much as possible to control what goes into your body. Processed foods are full of added salt and fat. And if you eat out, there are things you can do. You can order smaller portions or share your meal. You can ask for steamed vegetables and eliminate the pads of butter. Ask for dressing on the side, and so on and so forth. If you already have heart disease, you may want to consider that in some studies, eliminating meat and high-fat dairy products entirely has shown reversing of narrowing in the arteries. And also a very low-fat diet is extremely beneficial. I'm talking about less than 10% or less of your calories coming from fat. As reported in an overview of a number of studies in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, it recommends to eat more plant-based foods. They say high consumption of plant-based foods such as fruits and vegetables, nuts and whole grains is associated with a significantly lower risk of coronary artery disease and stroke. So you want to eat an unrefined plant-based diet, including plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and nuts and seeds. Consuming more nuts is key to a healthy diet for your heart. Nuts are very nutrient dense. They're rich in plant protein and healthy fats, dietary fiber, and antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. All of these are good for your heart. Other foods that are very good for your heart are oats and barley, beans and peas, red grapes and purple grape juice, onions and garlic, and soy foods. Soy foods or soy protein is very good for your heart. According to the FDA, 25 grams of soy protein a day, when consumed as part of a diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol, may reduce the risk of heart disease. And if you consider that 1 cup of soy milk has about 7 grams of soy protein, if you use it in cooking and in cereal, just about 3 cups a day will meet your needs for the soy protein. So it's very easy to do that. One final recommendation for a healthy diet for your heart is to reduce the number of fast food meals or avoid them if you can. Well, it looks like we have some choices to make. Each of us can choose to live a healthful life and experience the best quality of life. Jesus said in John 10:10, "I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly." By simply practicing the best lifestyle, including a good diet and regular exercise, you too can have life more abundantly. Until next time, may you live longer, happier, and healthier, the way your Creator intended it.